Record to the cloud. Let's see. All right, we are live. Hey, this is Victoria Parker, owner of Hey Girl, Hey Health and Fitness, and I'm here with one of our awesome speakers for our Mind, Body, Soul Virtual Summit that kicks off next Tuesday, May 12th. And I am so excited, especially to have Miss Natasha Johnson here with me today. We go way back, right? Like
we go way back. Let's go way back.
We knew each other in high school.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
So it's interesting that we go way back, and life really happens, and we really didn't connect until we started our lives and started having children. So I love social media because I think that's where we connected, just on social media and following each other's lives. So I am excited about the summit. I'm excited about just working with my friend. That's been a journey, and I love it.
Yes. So before we get into your subject topic, what you're going to talk about, I just want you to tell the audience, because I know you, but I want the other folks to find out a little bit more about you. So tell them more about yourself.
Absolutely. At first, I'm a wife. I'm a mother. It is definitely my first ministry. It's probably my greatest ministry. For work, I am a therapist. So my passion, of course, led me to therapy. I love helping people. I love pulling passion and purpose. I like to be called the purpose pusher. I will
I was hoping you were going to say that.
Push you to your purpose. Sometimes you'll like it, or sometimes you'll hate me, but either way, you will get there. So I'm really excited about that. Again, my purpose, my God-given purpose, is really just to help people, to empower people, to help them walk through process and gain insight, because we all have purpose.
I like that. Yes. So tell me real quick so other folks probably don't know the story, but literally I was sitting on a conference call that had nothing to do with Hey Girl or Mind, Body, Soul. And it just came to me that I wanted to have a platform to just support women at this time, because we're sitting at home. And I knew at that time, literally, I was in a funk. Like, I was just kind of in a rut. And so I wanted to provide an avenue for myself and for other women to just connect and to share and relate. And so I text you. You were one of the first people that I text. Like, I have this idea. I don't have a date. I don't have a plan. I don't know when, where, and why, but I want to do it. And I want you to be a part of it. So why did you agree?
I think it goes back to that whole supporting vision and purpose, right? So I know what your purpose is. I think that we've had some conversations about where your vision is. So if anything, and especially if I'm going to push purpose, when you say this is what I want to do, and I'm going to say, yeah, go do it. This is what you can do, because I also feel like God gives us those moments and people to say, yep, you can do it. We're going to do it. It's going to happen. It's going to be great. And that is that whole thing of pushing each other to purpose, to support each other. And when your girlfriend says, hey, this is what I want to do, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. When, where, what do you have to do, right?
Yes, and I know that you got me out of a rut recently. I shouted you out on Instagram because I was struggling. So I had committed to this, and then fear took hold. I'm being really transparent today, but that's all right. Fear took hold, and I was like struggling just to take the next step. And we had a conversation that was supposed to be about your topic for the summit, but you actually ended up like speaking life to me and just really encouraging me. And you gave me some really good advice. Do you remember what you told me?
I did, because I remember what you told me. So I told her, I think I posted it on a comment. I was like, I just gave you back the life that you gave me. So I think that really kind of stays on the topic of follow your own words. Like, remember when you told me, girl, like, you got to do this one thing at a time, pick back up, you can fall off and still get back on it. So I think in those moments, we just really need to process it and think it through. And someone has to speak life back into us and remind us of really what we said. And what
absolutely. I like that. So I think that's a great segue into your topic, right? Do you want to just share really briefly about what you're going to be talking about in the summit?
Yes, so I'm really excited. I don't know if you have been asked this question or just kind of thought about this, but a lot of people have this conversation about what have you learned, or what are you learning with this whole reset, we have to sit down pandemic. And if anything, God has really worked on my heart about resetting. The first word that comes to my mind is reset. That means when we're kind of forced to be in a situation that we may not have initially liked, it doesn't necessarily feel good, but it really requires us to stop, to slow down. Because if you're a lot like me, I was caught up in routine. Everything was kind of scripted around the time of the day, taking kids to school, picking them up, going to work, and you, believe it or not, like before you know it, you're caught up in a routine and a comfort, and it becomes very stagnant. So for me, what this time did for me is forced me to stop, forced me to reset and really think about what's important in my life, what I value. I'm going to talk briefly about this whole concept, and you might have heard about it before. I like to practice it in my life. But that whole concept where we reach this place in our life that either it's a rut, or maybe we're just identifying what is next for me, or for some people it's identifying purpose. So what I like to do is this concept of stop, start, and continue. It really is applied to goal setting. If you are ever talking about vision or purpose, the concept allows you to, again, reset, to stop what you're doing, to identify the things in your life that aren't serving you, your purpose, your life, your mind, your body, your relationships, right? It also helps you to think about, what do you have to do? Like, what do I, now that I've stopped, what do I now have to do? What are things that I've dreamt about? What are things that I've set goals about? And I have to get on it and begin to take some steps towards that goal, that vision. So that's that start, and continue. There's things in our life, goals and seasons in our life aren't always negative. There's things that work for us. There's things that work for our personal lives and our jobs and our children and our marriages, or just our friendships, or even with goal setting, that you can continue to do that. And also, sometimes when you say continue, right? Sometimes it means picking something back up, something we left on a shelf, something we put on the side because parenting called, marriage called, jobs called, moving to other states, unexpected things in our life, right? Call us and really pull us in another direction. And that whole concept of continuing is being able to say, okay, what can I pick back up again? So my presentation is just going to be about all of those things, what the reset has meant for my life and how I can share that. And also the concept of, again, I'm a purpose pusher, right? In order for us to be pushed to purpose, we have to take a stop. And sometimes life makes us do that. Sometimes just situations and scenarios make us do that. Births, right? Marriages, kids, I don't know if we talked about the kid. Did I talk about kids yet? Well, we have two sets of kids. But two sets of kids. So my husband and I, we have a blended family. And like we love to say, we have bonus kids. So we came in both with children, and those children are now adults. They're in their 20s, and we started all over again. And they're starting all over again. Our youngest is 4 and 6. So for me, pregnancy stopped some goals. We embrace those blessings in our life, but it also puts us back and has us reevaluate what now our life and I call them seasons. I embrace seasons. Seasons are necessary in life. Seasons are what reminds us how to first embrace moments, embrace situations, so that we can take things into the next season. And we always need something for the next season. So that's always important.
Absolutely. I like that. That's good. And that's going to be good. When you were talking about that, and I remember when this whole thing started, I was seeing like posts and Instagram posts or whatever, they would say like, after all this is done, you should have opened a business or done this or done that, and your house should be clean because you're sitting at home all day. And I was like, whatever, you know what I mean? Because for me, first of all, I have 6 people in my home right now. I'm sure, I don't know if you can hear them outside, but playing right now outside the office playing right now. But so my house is probably not going to be spotless throughout the day because we're living, right? We got 6 people and only 2 adults that are living in the house, you know. But then also, for me, initially, it was a moment just to sit down,
Yes.
just to sit, and just to and then I think that's why I started to feel like I was in a rut because I was so used to doing something that I didn't have anything to do. So I was just sitting. And so, can you talk a little bit about that? Like that you talked about routine, that desire, or that I guess we feel obligated really
Yeah.
to be moving and doing, but really there might be just a season where you just need to sit and be quiet.
I agree. I think the first thing with that is that we put some really big expectations over ourselves. And oftentimes, it's not the people around us that have these expectations. They're expectations that we put on ourselves. And as a result of that, we have now set an expectations for our husbands, our children, our workforce, whoever, right? So I think the first thing is really identifying what unrealistic expectations have I placed over myself, whether in the day, in my life, or in the moment. You know, yesterday was my blah day. We have blah days. So it really identifies, you can sit down and say, here's what I'm not going to do today, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So I think removing expectations that we have over ourselves, because if we can do that, we can then remove the expectations that we have for others.
Right. Yeah. And oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, so yesterday we had talked about that because you and the kids were invited to my son's party, and you said, you know, I'm just not feeling it today. Mm-hmm. And normally, like when I used to before I got to the point where I am now, I would have a hard time even doing that. Like I said, I was going to go, I have to go. But if I'm not feeling it, I'm not going to enjoy myself. People around me are going, and I'm forcing myself to do something I don't want to do because I feel like somebody else expected me to do that, right? And I just wanted to say kudos to you for acknowledging that you needed that rest day and that you needed a time to yourself and sent the kids off and so kudos to you for taking care of yourself and for listening to your body, because our body talks to us.
If you want a temperature of the relationships around you, when you can set boundaries like that and people respect them, those are your people.
Absolutely.
Those are the people that relate and understand, right? And value also self and family and self-care.
Right.
And oftentimes, the people that don't, it's okay. Mm-hmm. It's okay because that's a boundary for yourself, and we need boundaries.
Right. So I don't know if you want to share this, but before we start talking on record, mm-hmm. You shared a story about this morning.
Yes. Yes.
You want to? I think this will be a nice time to share that.
Exactly. So it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and again, I'm a therapist. And what we were tasked to do is send a picture with us wearing green to represent Mental Health Awareness Month. And that picture was due this morning. So again, remember I had a day yesterday, and that day did not require that. It didn't include looking nice or presentable for anybody's picture. So I thought it was funny because we compiled the pictures and someone created the collage of it, and one of my colleagues were like, hey, like your picture was amazing. So I texted her back and I said, girl, if you only knew, like I literally woke up out of bed at 11 o'clock knowing that we had a deadline in the morning. I wanted to participate, right? And I got up, zhuzh, the zhuzh, if anybody has zhuzh the hair, made my face presentable, grabbed something green. I know my daughter, I kept on walking in my daughter's room and I was like, Deja, my 23-year-old, Deja, you got something green? She's looking at me like, Ma, it's 11 o'clock. So I threw something green on and told my husband to take the picture. And I thought it was interesting because what I looked like in the picture wasn't what I was feeling in the day. And it was appropriate that it was for mental health awareness, where really that picture represents how I took care of my mental health in that moment. And also reminds us that people, what you see, how we present, oftentimes we struggle. And not always getting caught up in presentation and how we look, and really looking at people as people. and being authentic about that and genuine about that, and knowing that people at all levels deal with mental health and deal with days where we're blah. So in those, we give ourselves grace and we keep it pushing.
I like that. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. One more thing I wanted to get your opinion on, because this was like a revelation that I had early one morning. I've joined the 5 a.m. club begrudgingly. And I don't know if you're familiar with that, but Robin Sharma.
That's all you had to say. 5 a.m.
Right. Get up at 5 a.m. and he has it broken down 20-20-20. So the first 20 minutes you are moving. So whether it's yoga or something, you're moving your body, get that blood flowing. The next 20 minutes you spend reflecting. So praying, meditating, writing in your journal, whatever it is. And then the last 20 minutes is informing yourself. So whether it's reading a book or listening to an audio book, something like that. So you're just spend that first hour of your day just said, and I will say I have felt a difference, although that 5 o'clock comes really soon. But anyhow, so in that moment, a couple of days ago, I was just thinking about thinking about life and some of the things I've gone through. And it came to me that I have for a long time, and I posted on it on Instagram today. I don't know if you saw it. And it said, success does not equal work. And that's something that I believed for a really long time. Well, I know I believed for a long time. So as long as I was doing things and accumulating things and all these goals and checking this stuff off the list, that determined my worth. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I started losing things, like I bought my house on my own as a single woman at 28 years old. I was a homeowner. And then 5 years later, had to short sell it. Mm-hmm. Lost my job. Married, but then we moved and I had to leave a job that I loved and was comfortable in, and so a lot of stuff started going away that held a lot of value to me. And I realized in that I was starting to feel like I was losing some type of self-worth, because my worth I had wrapped up in the stuff and not who God made me to be. And so I'm so glad that I have that understanding now, that clarity now, but it took a lot to get there. And I just felt like that message was on my heart today to share. And so I just wanted to see if you had any feedback or any input to that whole concept that success does not equal or determine your worth.
I think if anything stands out to what you said, it is that identifying who we are and we're grounded in, right? We have to be grounded in something. Because that helps us to identify who we are, what we want to represent. Because if we're not grounded in something, then we will be wavy, right? So anything, whatever the trend is, then we're going to go that way. Whatever the business are, we're going to go that way. So I think the first thing is finding our grounding. Now, that is not an easy task. It takes time. It takes work. It takes a lot of ugly moments where we're looking at ourselves in the mirror and saying, ooh, that's not what I want to be.
No, girl, no.
Right. No, girl, no. Not hey, girl, no, girl, no. That's good. So it's ugly mirror moments. Oftentimes relationships will show us what isn't working, and we have to be able to look at ourselves through the lens of other people and feedback of those that we love and we respect, and be able to say, gosh, I never knew and understood that was who I am, and that characteristic is really holding me back to purpose. So I think that definitely mirror moments, taking a look at where you are and what you don't like about yourself, or the consistent feedback that people give to you, whether you like it or not, is more than likely a commonality of something probably that you could change for the better. Yeah. Oftentimes we don't like change. We fight it. Our flesh fights it. We fight it. Yes. So definitely dealing with mirror moments and getting grounded in identity. I find my identity in God. My groundedness is in God. So every place, every relationship, every goal, every decision I make has to come out of that place for me, because if it doesn't, it will be wavy and it will go with the tides and it will go in the wind. And before I know it, I will be looking at myself again saying, what are you doing? Where are you going? What is your purpose? What is your vision? Removing those expectations, giving ourselves some grace, and respecting the seasons for other people and for ourselves. There will be seasons. And we have to be very careful that we don't get caught up in that whole comparison trap.
Comparison.
That, especially during this time, I agree with you. That whole, if you don't come out of this with a business, with a whatever, and I say, if you don't come out of this with some sanity, right?
Right.
And some peace about the decisions that you made, hopefully some peace because you've been able to spend more time with family and children. And in that time, whether we like it or not, we've identified some areas that are not working for us and that have been, and we need to do more of. So I say, hey girl, hey, if you ain't walked out of this situation with a reset to identify and define what you're going to continue to do and what you don't need to do,
right?
I encourage you now, start,
right.
continue now.
Yes.
That's right. Now.
Yes. Yes. You made me think of a quote that one of my favorite authors, Rachel Hollis, said, and she said, comparison is the killer of all joy. I think is how it is. Comparison is the killer of all joy. So I think that
it doesn't even have to be on the big scale. I think that when we're talking about businesses and things like that, we watch others around us, right? It can also be small, still moments, cooking, right, for the kids and the meals that we cook, right? It reminds me, that's why I loved Candace's Zoom with you, because I'm like, girl, I'm the B- parent, me. But even comparison in that manner, like parenting and watching other women parent their kids and watching other marriages, that the marriage part, don't get caught in the marriage part.
Don't get caught in the marriage because you have no idea what's going on behind those doors.
Struggle, you have no idea.
The prayer that's been girl, you don't know. You don't know.
You have no idea what the lesson and the purpose are for people individually and collectively. So that is one thing about that comparison trap, that everyone has a season and you don't know what my season has looked like and the struggle, right? And we shouldn't get caught up in timing. Timing is perfected at the certain, the exact moment at the exact time. And when it's your time, it will be your time and you will know that. So don't be pressured by other people's timelines, and respect yours and be grounded in something.
Yes. Well, I think on that note, we don't want to give them too much.
Right.
We don't want to give them too much. We don't give them the whole workshop. But before we go, just share with the folks why they should be a part of this virtual summit.
So here's why you should be a part. First, everything is surrounded around your mind, your body, your soul. Because it's very individualized for yourself. It doesn't say someone else's, it's yours. So whatever it is that you're going to seek in this, whatever season you're in, whatever growth place or change that has been tugging at your heart, the goal is that you do it now and that you can glean something from someone because you're supposed to. That's why you signed up. And maybe you don't know why you signed up. And that is it, to really grasp the lessons. The goal is that you walk away from this virtual summit and walk away with something that you will focus on or pick back up again and remind yourself that you're worth it and you need it and you're worthy of it. I think that part, you're worthy of it. So
yes.
I think I know there's going to be amazing presenters. I love the mix up of topic and areas, right? When Vicky sent it to me, I was like, girl, that's great. Like, because it's a plethora of areas which we all need because we know it's so many different areas in our life that if we collectively can pull it back to a place where we have some direction, that's where we move forward.
I like that. And if you haven't registered, there's still plenty of time. And there's truly something for everyone. We have personal finance, relationships, goal setting, time management. What am I missing? Fitness and nutrition. And I have a chef, health. I have a chef that's going to be doing a live demo. Like I'm excited about that one too. Yes. So there's something for everyone. You guys won't want to miss it. I'll put the link in the bio to register. Actually, it's already there. So just click there and you can get signed up. It's $36. It's like $12 a day. Like, we can do that. Well,
God told me to go. God told me to go. I will sponsor one ticket for someone. So
what?
whatever you want to do it, Vicky, let it be your way. But I got somebody on sponsorship for the $50 ticket. So I don't know who this is for. I don't know who needs it. But I'll sponsor one because I know that.
Look at you. Thank you for being obedient. Thank you.
Yes.
So how do we want to do this? Like,
Oh no.
so the first one to DM me, how about that? Just the first person to watch this video. So you have to watch it to the end, right? To know this. So the first person who watches this video, we know you watched it, DM me at Hey Girl Fitness, and the seat is yours, courtesy of Natasha. Now, what's your handle? How can people find you? How can people follow you?
So remember we talked about seasons?
Oh, okay.
God is working on my season. So I am excited about some new things that come out of Living Tasha J. That is something I desire. It's been a goal of vision, and I'm working on that. And also, I love people like Vicky, my love, that says, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's time. It's time. Texts and calls. It is time. So right now I'm on Instagram at Living Tasha J, and we'll make sure it's included at the bottom. I'm open for whatever. I'm all about helping people. If you just want to shoot me, hey girl, this is what I'm going through and I will help you. I'm all about helping.
And especially if you have some youth. She is amazing.
I love it. It's my heart.
Yes.
So I know that we're wrapping it up a little bit.
Yes, no, it's fine. It's fine.
I had my daughter when I got pregnant with her at 16. I had her at 17. And I really believe, even if I didn't know it then, that God began to create purpose in my ability to speak also to young parents and young mothers, and ultimately to teenage girls, because the struggle was real. But out of it, I watch the seeds that I sowed into her blossom and grow. We learn together. So I have a special place in my heart for young adults and teenagers, as difficult sometimes as it is. There's purpose in that, and there's a reason in that, and that is, again, a special place in my heart.
And I smile because your girl is amazing. Like, I knew her as a little girl, and to see her now as a young woman, she is doing big things. And I don't know if you want to share her. She's doing all kinds of stuff. So
she is doing all kinds of stuff. She's doing some marketing, branding, social media branding. I'm probably going to forget something branding that she does, but she's amazing. So I will also include her information in the comments. I always tell the story that when she turned 16 and had no baby, I was like, oh, I'm winning. And then 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, oh, we are winning over here and breaking generational cycles, right? And that's one thing is so important, that even if it doesn't feel like it, I don't know what parent I'm talking to right now that's raising a teen or a young adult. It doesn't feel like it all the time that we're planting seeds. We are. Don't stop planting seeds. They will grow in the timing in which they should. So we pray over our kids, we continue to plant seeds, and we let them live their own journey, because their journey and their purpose is completely different than ours.
Yes. Yes. And look, and with that note, we're really going to go this time. I know you got to get to your family. I don't know what's happening outside this booth.
About the sponsorship. I'm excited for whoever
Me too. Me too.
For you, and I'm excited about it.
Yes. So once again, I'm going to post this video, and the first person that replies or responds to me in my DM, I'm telling you, the ticket is yours, the seat is yours, courtesy of Ms. Natasha Johnson. And I'm excited for the experience that you all are about to have. So register for this retreat, or the summit. Just register tonight. Do it now.
Do it now.
Yeah, like she said, God said, go. I'm telling you to go.
Go.
Don't sit on it. There will be something there for you. I promise, I can guarantee you. So with that said, May 12th through the 14th will be here. The live sessions will happen between 2 and 6 p.m. Pacific time, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we will see you then. And I'm out. We're out.
We're out. Hey, girl.
All right. Hey, girl. Hey. Okay. I think I got it. All right. Do you want to?